All right, to speak more on this, let's now welcome a political analyst, Thobani Zikalala. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon, Thobani. So, President Cyril Ramaphosa has now requested this detailed report and briefing from the Justice and Constitutional Minister. So, once he has received that report and subsequently holds that briefing with her, what, in your view, should be the President's response?
Good afternoon, Unahat, and good afternoon to your viewers. I mean, one thing I have a concern of is that in this country, it seems that anti-corruption, anti-corruption is a political weapon, and it seems to be a weapon that has arms. And because that's the first comment I want to make. The second thing is that once the briefing has been done, I mean, with allegations already in place, I mean, with MEC ministers, I mean, serving at the prerogative of the president, I would have requested the minister to take special leave and deal with their issues. I mean, you don't want to have a situation whereby there is a tainting of a government because of previous shenanigans of particular individuals. If the minister has got a case to answer, or got issues to deal with, let the minister vacate office or take a break from office and be able to deal with that. This idea of saying they must give you a briefing, and then because after the briefing, what do you do? I mean, they serve at your prerogative. If you believe there's something to respond to, let the minister go and take time and deal with that matter and give you a briefing thereafter that the matter has been cleared. The issue of the VBS is one of the blemishes in the South African government or the South African state because of the impacts that it had on people's lives and the extent of the corruption. I mean, of course, if you look at people like Thembi, with the minister Thembi, Simelane, of course, Thembi at the time, is that she's not the only one. I mean, if you look at how many people need to be dealt with, former mayors, former leaders of the African National Congress, in particular in the Limpopo, there is a far-reaching, what you call, corruption scandal here that needs to really be dealt with. I mean, if you read the tell-all, what you call, affidavit or statement of the former chairperson of that board, it shows you that VBS was a crime scene, a money heist, maybe only surpassed by money heists like those of Steinhoff and others, where you have a situation of a plundering of resources of money of higher scales. The president needs to be consistent in this matter. Previously, when people have been accused of such things in this country, they have been asked to recuse themselves from office. They have been asked to give themselves time to deal with issues. The African National Congress as an organization has referred such people to its Integrity Commission. So the consistency must be there so that you are seen not to be treating particular individuals softly because they are closer to you or they are allies.
And in fact, I mean, a lot of political parties have also now weighed in on this matter. I mean, when you look at her portfolio of justice and constitutional development, it is a very important one. She's just been answering questions now in the security cluster, and one listens to the delivery and the message, but cannot help, you know, to then consider what she's currently facing. I mean, when you look at the political parties that are calling for action, the DA, which is part of the GNU, as well as COPE, the EFF, also are urging the removal of the minister. Action SA wants the involvement of the public protector. So there is a lot of pressure for her to then do the right thing and step down.
Of course, I mean, that's why I'm saying that the best thing to have done, she would have done, is to take special leave if the president is not removing her from office. Take special leave, deal with your issues, because you don't want to change the government. I mean, we have this government that has just come in, and of course it's its own problems and all those things. But if this government is serious about trying to gain the goodwill of the people, trying to restore its credibility as a government, it must really, the president, Cyril Ramaphosa, must really deal with this issue. And I'm saying it is far more reaching than just Thembi Simelane. She's one, maybe a tip in the iceberg. There's many of them. And I believe that the matter must, of course, I mean, be investigated further. There must be prosecutions. But for those who are serving in government now, who have got what you call benefits from the shenanigans or the dealings from the VBS, they must have a case to answer. And if the case, the public protector must intervene and investigate such matters. If such monies have not been used or to acquire assets, as for example, if you look at the idea of people claiming they've got coffee shops and those assets have been declared, there's much more. There's a lot that needs to be done to make sure that this issue is put to bed. I mean, as I said, it's one of the biggest money heist or corruption scandals, of course, only surpassed by scandals like Steinhoff and others.
Yeah.
But it is a very serious matter. It deals with the impact of such crime on the lives of ordinary people in Limpopo, and those who are involved, all of them must have a case to answer. But in particular, firstly, let's deal with the minister. The minister must bring the nation to confidence, and but part of that is making sure that you vacate the public office in the meantime that you are dealing with your allegations.
And I mean, the Polokwane Municipality in Limpopo has also distanced itself from this, saying that it obviously is calling for some form of accountability to come and emanate from this, as you rightfully point out, because of the kind of crime that we saw being linked to VBS and, of course, the ones that were implicated, ordinary South African citizens, and, of course, a subset of a community that is elderly. And, of course, this hit hard for many South Africans. But just in terms of a point that we made earlier on, in terms of the Government of National Unity, of course, the DA also calling for President Cyril Ramaphosa to take some form of action and for the minister to account. In light of this allegation, against the minister, how is this likely to impact that relationship between the ANC and the DA?
I mean, the relationship between the DA and the ANC is far more reaching than the scandals like these ones. I mean, there are many things that they almost agree on. But of course, it brings to question on whether or not the DA, as a so-called opposition party, will be able to hold accountable the president of a party that they are in in coalition with and they are governing together with. Will they be able to play their opposition party role? And of course, that, for me, brings into question the stability of that government of national unity on whether or not these partners are all able to hold each other accountable, especially the so-called main partners, the DA and the ANC, which are the biggest, have the big numbers in that arrangement. And of course, many have said that the government of national unity is merely a coalition between the DA and the ANC, as alluded, even with leaders of the DA. It brings into question whether the DA will then be able to hold into account its political partner in the government of national unity. And the idea of a government of national unity as a anti-corruption, a credible government that is going to usher in a new era in South Africa and clean things up, it also brought into question if immediately, less than 6 months of this government being in part, it has already appointed within itself people who have got a track record of being accused of corruption and are being accused of being participated in corruption. It also brings into question on whether or not this government is really as clean as it gets, or it is just a continuation of the things that we have seen before.
Yeah. All right. Thobani, thank you so much for your time and, of course, your analysis, political analyst there, Thobani Zikalala.